know sometimes it be like say, nobody send you. That's when I did for you, my friend.
The end goal of social is to drive demand, but a huge part of driving demand is having an audience that you can talk to in the first place. Some of the earliest clients that we had were focused on driving leads, make sure that we were driving folks back to the site and we're driving site traffic. We're big believers in social driving bottom line business results. Bottom line may not always or may not solely mean revenue. It can be other metrics that are business focused metrics, but none of that happens without first building an audience that is engaged, that cares about what your company, your product does, and also the mission, the narrative that you stand for, your worldview. So our endeavor is to make sure that brands think first from the audience's perspective. Making sure that you're first focused on building an audience that actually cares. Then you can focus on like, all right, how do you get people to the site? How do you get people to sign up for stuff? But if you don't have an audience that cares in the beginning, none of the rest of that stuff happens or matters. Some of the things that people get scared about when they hear that is, oh, then we have to wait a long time. There's a misnomer in this idea of build an audience that cares about your POV first, and then eventually they'll convert. There are some people who are in the market today that may have never heard of you, and as you're building your audience, they may become audience members. It's not that you have to push all demand capture 6 or 9 or 12 months away. It's that you recognize and you respect each channel, each program for what they're best at, right? And social is not the best channel for capturing demand, although it does do that. The crux of it is build this audience, this community of people who care about what your product does, what you solve, and communicate a clear narrative to them. Some will sign up today. Some who are in the market and are just finding out about you, they got a pressing need, will sign up today. Some will sign up in 3 months, and bulk of them will come at a later point, but you won't ever get to the later point if you don't start today.
Darien, I'd love to get you started on the demand wars questions. So first question, Darien, is desert island market. So you're on a desert island and you have $1,000 a month budget. How will you take a client's brand to market and help them create demand?
So I'm going to approach this from 2 different angles. One, if how I would do it if it were my own personal brand, and then 2, how I would do it for what I would do for a client if I were remote of them. All right, so for my personal brand, the answer is easy. Create a vlog. I would be focused on creating a vlog showing my life of living on this deserted island. How am I getting food? How am I getting water? What is the process like? And I might be taking some of that content, trying to get it to TikTok. I think it would be super interesting to figure out, like, what is somebody doing? How can you recreate Naked and Afraid, except without all of the TV cameras, right? And without the naked part. That's what I would do if it were my own brand. And I'd find ways to talk about how I'm building my brand, building whatever my company or service is from this island. So I probably wouldn't even need the $1,000 budget to do that, to be quite frank. For the company, now, if I'm running for a client, all of the $1,000 budget would go to distribution. So focus on creating content around narrative, around what the product solves, the RPOV on social platforms. The ones that matter most for B2B companies are probably Twitter and LinkedIn. There is a lot of white space on YouTube if you can pull it off. Shows like Demand Wars, where it's a lot less stuffy, really work for YouTube. I'd be figuring out ways to create content around what we're doing, figuring out ways to talk with that client. Show me your inside process. Can we get on a Zoom call? Can we record some of the meetings that you're having internally? And then the $1,000 will go all to distribution, meaning paid media. Let's run some LinkedIn ads against the content that's performing best, the organic content. So organic becomes our testing channel. Paid media becomes our distribution channel. And this is how we generate the demand. We figure out what's working. We already understand the platforms. We understand like what nuances make certain pieces of content work. We take the best performing, we put it in front of our audience on ads and Twitter ads. And that's how we start to build this.
there for you, my friend. I know